EAGLES, Eagles.
It's game day, everybody. Welcome into the JAKIB Pregame Show here on JAKIB Sports. Eagles taking on the New York Football Giants for the second time this season. It's a Week 8 matchup. I'm joined by the great Big Sills. Big Sills, how you doing this morning, bro?
I am doing great, and thank you, football gods. You know what? You just didn't make this a Eagles-Giants game, an NFC East game. You made this a must-watch football game because there is so much drama around this ball game now, man. I mean, injuries and drama. Well, and who shows up against this Giant team? We all know this, Zander. The Eagles have the best roster, but they had it 2 weeks ago.
Yep, that's true.
And they were just absolutely taken apart. Now you're missing some components heading into this game. Boy, man, I think we're going to learn a lot about this year's character on this football team as they play this game this afternoon.
No doubt, Big Sills. And you know what else you're going to learn about? No A.J. Brown in this football game means the Eagles are going to have to prevail. He is one player, Sills. It's him and Lane Johnson. When those two guys don't play, it's has been in the past a different football team. No A.J. Brown today, no Cam Jurgens today. You are going up against the New York Giants. They're missing a couple secondary players, and they are the 25th ranked run defense in football, despite having that great defensive line. So both teams missing some key players, Sills, but that's some real adversity for the Eagles today.
Yeah, but again, as I've said in the past, the Giants' loss of talent to their second team guys is not going to be as great as the Eagles' loss of their starting guys to their second team guys. I mean, Zander, look at the drop off from Cam Jurgens to Brett Toth. I mean, come on, dude. I mean, now you're going to Jahan Dotson and you're going A.J. Brown. That is an enormous drop off. Now, I'll also put this out there. How is Kevin Patullo going to call football games without A.J. Brown and also without Cam Jurgens? Because, listen, if you've got a loss of personnel, that also has to come into fact, and you have to figure out how is in-game adjustments going to affect him and his play calling. Also, this is going to be a game here, Zander, that if I'm Eagle management and DeVonta Smith carries the football team along with Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts has a superstar game in this game and they blow this Giant team out, I got to tell you, man, those conversations that are sidebar going on with AJ and the organization, I think they elevate to the next level.
Well, I 100% think you're right. I mean, it is a pregame show here, so we are going to get into the game, but I would almost feel remiss to not address, obviously, the big story that came out yesterday with the Eagles. Jeffrey Lurie at the owners' meetings this week, commenting on everything. And I'll say this. Jeffrey Lurie brought a lot of clarity to the AJ conversation, to the Jalen Hurts conversation, to a lot of those things. But there's one thing that's been true of Jeffrey Lurie since he owned this team. He does not comment much in season. He does not. And the fact that he commented yesterday, I think, is at least something to note in that game. I mean, he took the question seriously, the A.J. Brown question. So it's something to keep an eye on. You know, one of the key quotes from the game is, or from that interview, Sills, "We do what's best for the team." You know, that's what he said. So I don't know what that means. Maybe you're right. If they are able to win today, do they look to do that? But didn't sound like a resounding no to me. But I know people took it that way.
Well, I'll tell you what, is that an organization that likes to give you the inner workings of what's going on behind the scene? They do not like to give you any kind of insight, especially when it comes to that kind of conversation. When you're answering questions about a football player and you're not giving definitive answers when it comes, hey, that's completely out of the conversation of moving A.J. Brown. Like you said, man, there was, Diane Rossini, she did a spectacular job. I reached out to her too, and I'm trying to get her on the program during the week. But I got to tell you, I've never seen an owner address a situation heading into a football game, telling people, listen.
Especially Jeffrey Lurie, Sills. Like you hear the Miami owner, he normally speaks. Jeffrey Lurie does not speak in season.
No. And prior to going into a game like this, I mean, where you wobbled a little bit over the last three, I mean, I thought they were stunning comments.
Well,
puts
I
everything on the table there
to
too.
be honest, though, don't you think it's actually the right way to view it? I mean, if he's being 100% truthful as an owner, you got to look and be like, we're always going to do
He
what's
owes
best for
us
the
no
Eagles.
explanation.
Well, I agree
He
with
owes
that.
us.
And the interesting,
He
the
owes his
most,
team, Xander. He doesn't owe the media anything.
no, I know that, but I think Jeffrey Lurie again likes to correct. He likes to be out in front of the narratives. But look, I think he had an opportunity to say the team was not trading him, or simply do what he's done for the last decade, not talk at all.
How about too?
He chose neither of those things, though, Sills.
I
So
know.
I
How
thought that
about
was
this
interesting.
too? You see some of the fans in here attacking the messenger. Hey, man, he answered the questions. You can say whatever you want about Diane, and you can go after her. He answered the questions, and so you should be talking about your owner. Nobody's twisting anything. I mean, do you actually think somebody who is an NFL national reporter is going to twist words of an NFL owner so that they never get the ability to have that accessibility again? Remember, we always talk about key fob. Okay, well, the key fob also works on the national people too as well. So if you think that she's going to take a quote and she's going to twist that thing out of context, she'll never have the ability again. You think the Eagles are going to allow her into the building, or there going to be any kind of access to the owner or to the general manager? That's asinine to think that.
Yeah, now I don't. To be fully blunt, I don't think they're moving anybody at this point. Anybody big like that. Now, if they get offered 2 ones, goodbye AJ Brown. Now, not that they would get offered that. I'm just saying they did say we're going to do what's best for the Eagles. I don't think they're.
So you're telling me if they blow that team out today and he blows up on Monday, okay, and he blows up on Monday on social media.
Playing today.
Like I said, if they blow that team out and he blows up on Twitter,
I know, but why would he blow up? Because he's not playing.
Why has he been blowing up now?
That's true. I mean,
dude, you're 5-2. You make $32 million a year. You've got a Super Bowl ring. I told everyone a couple weeks ago, this wasn't going to go away. This is only going to continue to get bigger.
Well, we'll see. I mean, look, I think you're right about what they do today will create a narrative, whether people like it or not, in the fans, on social media, in the organization, I think top to bottom. But look, let's see what they're doing today, Sills. No A.J. Brown means, as you mentioned.
What if they go the other way, though? What if this thing looks ugly today against the Giants? I mean, will fans and people go like this? See, I don't really think AJ can win either way here. If they blow a team out, I think there's going to be more narrative. If they get beat or the game is like a one-kick game in the fourth quarter, I think there's going to be another narrative there as well.
Well, I mean, look, I'm Team Eagles, not Team AJ or Team anybody else. I'm Team Eagles first, and I'll say this: if the team can prevail without AJ, I think there's a real conversation, because I'm not one that wants to trade AJ at all. I've been very Team AJ, but like, dude, he's not shutting up right now. And at the end of the day, like, does he just not want to be here? Like, should we just get the value we can while we can get it? I don't know. I think it's a conversation.
He's on Team AJ right now. He's not on Team Eagles. You're on Team Eagles. He's on Team AJ. Because if he was on Team Eagles, there'd be no conversation. You're winning ball games right now. You're one of the best teams in the NFC. I mean, Xander, this is really going to expose good and bad a little bit here. Jalen Hurts today as well.
Well,
Hurts
I agree.
goes out there and throws for 350 yards, and there's no A.J. Brown in this ball game.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, look, let's get into the game a little bit. So I tweeted out today, last year, Sills, was a year where everything worked for the Eagles. Defense, run game. Everything seemed to always work for the most part for the Eagles, with the exception of maybe the passing game. But this year's much different. Injury bug early in the year, inconsistency offensively and defensively, not running the football well. This team is much different than the last year team, and I think you're looking at Jalen Hurts needs to play like an MVP like he did last week, week in and week out. Now, I'm not asking for a perfect passer rating every week. I understand that that's an unfair expectation to put, but I do think Jalen has to go back into the mode of, you lift the team, you are the MVP every Sunday, like he was in 22 and even parts of 2023, versus last year was more of a team. The defense was great. Saquon was great. You didn't always need Jalen to be that MVP. I think you need him to be MVP week in and week out this year.
Okay, well, there's 3 issues with the Birds going into this game. Attack the edge with stretch plays, CB2, and internal offensive line. Your center is out. Your left guard has been banged up. Your right guard is not the power guard that you had a year ago with Mekhi Becton. So, Zander, you're looking at lesser talented players than you had a year ago. So to me, everyone's giving the benefit of the doubt because of what they did in 24 and what they did 11 months ago. I mean, dude, you're a completely different football team. And Jaxson Dart, the last time he was on the football field, he took them apart. What's going to be different here? An attitude adjustment?
No, Jalen Carter.
You're lesser than you were in that game 2 weeks ago.
What's more important, players or attitudes? We got 2 players added to that defensive front, that front 7. That's going to make a big difference, in my opinion, on Jaxson Dart.
Okay, attitude, sure, okay, but you're lesser of players when you got Cam out in this game now, and you got AJ. Are you not?
Yeah, but I'm looking at you brought up Dart. I'm looking at the defensive side.
Okay, well, again, now you're looking at Kelee Ringo getting the start at corner, right?
Remember, we had him in the game last time too.
Okay, how'd that go?
Not great. I'm just saying that's not a change from last time. The biggest change
added 2 more components to this. Remember, I talk in bunches, Zander. I don't just talk in one player. I talk in bunches where now you've got Cam out. Now you've got AJ out. Now you're starting Ringo. Now you've got lesser edge rushers too. I mean, dude.
Yeah, but you're looking at Jalen Carter returning to the lineup versus this team and Nakobe Dean.
So one player. Okay, well, again, so if Nakobe gets out there on the field.
Not one player. It's 2 players.
Nakobe Dean's only going to be on base, which means he's going to be out there.
No. I disagree today.
Okay.
They only have 3 edge rushers.
Well, they're benching Jahad Campbell, is that right?
I think circumstantially with the edge rushers, because Ojulari's inactive, they only have 3 edges.
Dude, Jahad Campbell is not an NFL edge rusher right now.
You might not think he is, but he's going to line up there today. My expectation is he will line up.
Because you line up there, don't make you one.
I don't disagree, but it does mean that your Mike linebacker for the game is going to be Nakobe Dean.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm still attacking those edges because I don't believe that guy is an NFL edge rusher yet.
Well, hear me out. Whether Campbell's there or not, aren't you doing that anyway?
Yeah, like I said.
No, I'm just saying you do.
Okay, well, it's not that he makes no impact out there for me.
Well, you get Nakobe in the run game, you get Jalen Carter in the middle. I think that's a big. I mean, last time the Eagles,
you got AJ Brown and Cam Jurgens off the field, and you got Kelee Ringo starting, and you're putting a rookie who's an off linebacker at edge. I don't know. How do you think that sounds?
No, I get it. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm just saying that my optimism for the defensive side of the ball today is that you're getting back Carter and Bond. I mean, that's what it is. Last time we played Cam Scatterboo, let me get the numbers for you.
99 yards rushing, I believe he had.
Yeah, and on 19 carries. You know, how many broken tackles did he have in that game? 19 carries, 98 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Okay.
I mean, and by the way, Jaxson Dart
playing that game?
Campbell played in that game, yeah.
Okay.
At linebacker.
Okay. Now he's going to be at a lesser position, playing edge.
Yeah, but you get a better run defender at linebacker.
Okay, we'll find out.
Well, we'll see.
I think there's a lot of questions. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I believe that the Giants are going to sweep the Philadelphia Eagles. That is not happening.
Well, you're just showing where you see.
I'm telling you that. Get this. This game, in my opinion, Zander, has a shot to be a 4th quarter game, and that's what the New York Giants want to have in this football game, is to make it a 4. You're nowhere near the talent. And let's not forget something. A week ago, they had that Bronco team. The Broncos, in my opinion, played a spectacular game against the Eagles. They were right there with them too. I think the Giants are getting better with this Jaxson Dart kid.
Well, they definitely. There's no doubt about that. You're right about that. Sills, I'm feeling like no AJ Brown, no Cam Jurgens, Sills planting doubt on the deal. I'm feeling like we beat this team to a pulp today. I really am. Doesn't mean I'm going to be right, but that's my feeling right now. The Eagles are going to come in, play Eagle ball. Jalen dominates. Saquon Barkley gets going versus the 25th ranked run defense. They're not that good against the run. I think we dominate this team today. Jaxson Dart, Vic Fangio. Listen to me. 2 times in 3 weeks. Who gets the advantage there? Vic Fangio or the rookie Jaxson Dart? That's bad news if you're Jaxson Dart.
Yeah, but again, man, you're losing talent. You've lost star talent in this game.
I understand that, but the Giants don't have much
And
talent.
you think just adding Brett Toth and Keeley and all these other guys
I'm not
and
saying
Todd
that.
Campbell at edge, you're the same guys?
Next man up, baby. We won a fucking Super Bowl that way. If you could have said that, we would have been doing a pregame show for Super Bowl 52 in 2018 in February. And
we have now just dubbed. We have now
got Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. You lost your talent.
We have now just dubbed Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rodgers. Okay.
It is what it is, man. Look, the team has to prevail through it. That's part of football. As you mentioned, the Bucs are missing players. The Giants are missing players. Right. The Eagles are – everybody's missing players.
More of attrition.
Yep, and Eagles I think they're going to beat the shit out of this Giants team today. There's no way they don't have a bad taste in their mouth from that Week 6 beatdown the Giants delivered on the Birds.
Okay. Hey, I'm hoping for you, man. I'll tell you what. I hope for you here. I'm rooting for you. Okay, I'm right there with you, man.
All right, question for you. Pass game. Do they keep the momentum? Week 6 was ugly. Jalen missed DeVonta on a deep shot. He threw the interception in the red zone. A lot of missed opportunities in that game. Giants beat us up 34-17. Last week, Jalen comes in, perfect passer rating, 19 of 23, 300 plus, 3 touchdowns. Do they keep the passing momentum today, Sills?
Okay. How do you feel the run game's going to go?
I think the run game gets going this week.
Okay, I don't. I think they're – no. Well, you haven't shown me one metric where you have gotten the run game going. I will say this, though, Zander. I do believe that they're going to have to – if they're going to win this game like you want them to win convincingly, they're going to have to throw the football. And they're going to have to throw the football to set up play action as well. You know, you're missing a component in the middle there, and they're going to pick up the run game with Brett Toth running the ball? Okay. Hey, I want to see it.
I understand that, personnel-wise, it's against me to get the run game going today. But last week they weren't supposed to pass, and they did anyway. So I think they're going to get there. Look, this Giants team still, they're 25th against the run, dude. They're not that good against the run.
I know. Well, that's because they've been on the field so long because the offense has had so many 3-and-outs, and you're going to see those numbers skewed a little bit. Well, let's face it, too. Philadelphia Eagles, if you want to go by the numbers, too, they're not a high-powered defensive football team. They're 22nd.
No, I get it. But the Broncos,
you're right there with them.
142 yards last week, and the Chargers rushed for 152 against them. I think the Eagles will be able to run.
Okay, well, one more time here, too. What are they against the run right now, Philadelphia? What are they, 24th against the run? Well, you're making it sound like the Giants' run game is a poor run game. So is your run defense.
I'm not saying they're not. Let's go to John McMullen. We got him now set to join us from Lincoln Financial Field. He joins us right now. Johnny Mac, do we got you, brother?
Yeah, I got you. You got me?
Yep, sound good, Johnny Mac. John, what's the site down there, my friend? How's the weather? How's it look at Lincoln Financial? They got the Kelly Green layout on the field. Bring us inside, J-Mac.
Yeah, Kelly Green, big Kelly Green day. So the Eagles have been very successful with those jerseys, if that means something to the uniform people. But they've been pretty successful anyway. So I always joke about those stats. They're 4-0 in Kelly Green. Well, they win every game anyway. They have until that two little week hiccup. So we'll see how it goes. Revenge matchup, obviously, from 17 days ago with the New York Giants. That was a head-scratching loss, no doubt about that. So short week, maybe that played into it. But it was strange the way they performed in that game. They were out physical, had a difficult time with Cam Scatterbo, had a really difficult time with the dual threat ability of Jaxson Dart. So those are the things they have to calm down. If they calm down those things, I think they win the game pretty easily. But anytime A.J. Brown's not out there, the history of this team without A.J. Brown, it's not a large sample size, but it hasn't been good. They generally have a pretty sharp downtick when it comes to total offense and points per game when he's out. So that's a concern. Cam Jurgens is obviously out. As you guys mentioned, Brett Toth playing center against Dexter Lawrence. That doesn't bring up exciting thoughts if you're an Eagles fan. But as you guys mentioned, I mean, Look, the Giants have a tremendous defensive front on paper. It looks good. It looks talented. That's the one aspect you say, that's going to be tough to deal with. But it hasn't really translated on the field that much as far as defensive success. They're, say one thing, they're pretty consistent, 25th against the run, 26th against the pass, and they have some injuries in the secondary as well.
John, let me throw this at you here. How do you think Kevin Patullo goes about play calling when you don't have A.J. Brown and you don't have a Cam Jurgens? Obviously, when you don't have personnel, that changes the direction of a mindset when you go into a football game. Do you think that they're going to be more heavily relying on trying to get the pass game going, or do you think it's going to be still trying to pound away into those flooded zones?
Well, my favorite quote from Vic Fangio last week was, "You would think," he was talking about something else, but I think there's, and I've used the term a lot with this team, and part of it's earned. I think there's some hubris in the fact that they don't change much when they go to the so-called next man up, which I don't necessarily agree with, but that's been their philosophy during this run. Is that, we're going to do what we always do, and I think that's similar. So if you look at it, in a more micro standpoint, like to all of us, it looks like, hey, you know what? Grant Calcaterra isn't the best blocker in the world. So why do you use 12 personnel on him as a blocker? Well, they do it. In theory, John Mechie is not going to be able to replace the reps of A.J. Brown, obviously, so maybe you have to go about things in a different direction. Obviously, Jahan Dotson gets bumped up, and Mechie's a wide receiver 3, but you get the point. Should you change up things? Yeah, you would think to go back to Vic, but I don't think they're going to change things up until they have to, and that's been sort of the Eagles' way of doing business in this whole run, really, where they've been amongst the best teams in football.
John, got to ask you, I know we're about an hour and a half out from game time here, but I do have to ask you about the report yesterday. Jeffrey Lurie did speak on A.J. Brown, on Jalen Hurts, on a litany of topics, John. Not something we're used to seeing, John. Comments from Jeffrey Lurie in the middle of a season, specifically on a story like A.J. Brown, the trade of a star player. He brought some clarity, or at least gave his point of view. What did you make of the comments, John, from Jeffrey Lurie?
Well, first of all, it's not that uncommon. The NFL fall meetings were in New York. They are every year. So that's where they got those comments. They just held them for
yeah, but does Jeffrey Lurie normally speak about specific topics like this, John, in season? I don't think so.
Yeah, he does. He does at the fall meeting. That's what I'm saying. It's not that rare. Now, do you have these comments? In other words, what happens, the owners are at the fall meetings in New York. Everybody sits in the lobby of the hotel. As each owner goes by, they ask questions. Now, there's more things going on, at least from the outside perspective. But no, it's not rare that he talks at the fall meetings. It's just elevated because the A.J. Brown stuff has gotten such traction nationally. So it's not, that part of it is not rare. Like, I think, because I think a lot of people thought, well, he's contacting Schefter and Garofalo, whoever, Diana. No, the meetings were this week, and that's why it happened. And you'll see other stuff. You'll see quotes from Jerry Jones. You'll see quotes from other owners. That's because that's what happened. So that part of it is not that rare. As far as his comments on AJ specifically, it has been what it has been typically, in the fact that, no, we're not trading him, basically. Now, if somebody comes in with 2 first-round picks, but one thing I will say with all these stories, have you seen the contract mentioned once? Like, no. Who's going to manipulate this contract? Which team, plus give up 2 first-round picks? November 4th, I'll say it. I'm on the air every day with you, Zander. He's not getting traded. He's going to be here November 4th. Now, off season, I think it's more realistic to talk about it. This season, I don't think it's realistic to
How
talk
about this, John? Then why are we talking about it? I mean, the comments, and I get what you're saying. You're dead on with those NFL owner meetings. You can grab any owner, whether it's in Houston or Los Angeles or New York. I was talking to Armando Salguero, and that's exactly right. They walk by, you get an opportunity. The PR guy brings them in front of many of the national guys. You sit there and you go over a plethora of comments and things going on with the league. But then when you put the context of it, that you're talking about a player, I don't think it's uncommon that owners talk to the reporters, but I think when you start addressing internal workings, I mean, this is an organization, from what I've seen so far, is that they're very they keep their cards to their chest here, and they're going out and they're having conversations about a player, hours before a football game. And I know, again, that happened earlier in the week because the NFL owner meetings were this week. And so now that she's releasing some of that stuff that was probably embargoed, like you say. But I mean, John, the context of it too, I mean, it's not the fact that that's not uncommon they talk, but about a player. If he's not going to be traded, why are we talking about it?
Well, I think because, I think everything stems from the people outside the organization. So the typical mindset is that if you have a disgruntled player around the league, make that call and see if you can get that player, if you can pry that player away. So I think that's the normal sort of modus operandi of other GMs. So I think if you look at all the AJ reports, they're all coming from other teams thinking, well, he doesn't look happy. You look at the film, they're not on the same page, yada, yada, yada. So that's all coming from other organizations who think, hey, you know what? Maybe there is legs to this, because typically when wide receivers get unhappy, this is what happens. From the Eagles' standpoint, they've been pretty steadfast from Jeffrey Lurie on down that they're not trading them. They want to win a Super Bowl. Bottom line is, are they a legitimate Super Bowl contender? I think they are. I don't think they're far above the pack like they were last year, but they're still a legitimate Super Bowl contender if a bunch of things go right. If they trade A.J. Brown, guess what? They're not. They're not. So you're essentially saying, all right, we're not going for it this year if you trade A.J. Brown. That is not the typical way the Eagles do business. And I'll say it again, and I'll say it until November 4th. And if I'm wrong, I'll take it on the head. They're not trading them. They're not trading them in the offseason. Then I think it's a legitimate conversation.
Johnny Mac, talk to me about this passing game today with A.J. Brown out. They're coming off of, inconsistent, John. That's kind of what we're used to with this team. But last week they were, hit the high of highs with the perfect passer rating, 300+ yards passing, 3 touchdown passes. And the week prior was obviously, had some misses, had the interception in that week 6 matchup versus the Giants. Do you see that passing game continuing to build on what they did a week ago? How do you see it playing out today, John?
Well, I think, remember what the plan was going in against Minnesota was to try to get that running game going. I think that translates more again to this week. They want to get that running game going, and then you toggle if it doesn't get going again. And especially, all of a sudden Minnesota early was talking to Jordan Mailata about this. Early in that game, Minnesota was playing a more typical front, and the Eagles were having success, and they made the shift early to a lot of 6-man fronts, and that's when the Eagles shifted offensively because you pretty much have to. So I think number one, until they get it going, is get the running game going first and foremost. If you can, if you can't, then you toggle. But remember, it becomes more difficult to toggle if you don't have A.J. Brown.
How about this here too, John? On defense, how much are we going to see potentially Cooper DeJean because of Keely Ringo being out there and Noah Dory-Jackson? If we're going to see him out there, and also, how much do you think we're going to see Jihad Campbell out there on the edge too in this game?
Yeah, I definitely think you're going to see Jihad. I mean, you're down to, on the edge, you're down to Jalix Hunt, Josh Uche, Patrick Johnson. So he'll be the fourth sort of guy on the edge. And he'll play off ball as well. But, Nakobe Dean played well. They're going to play him at off ball linebacker and base, Jihad and nickel. And then Jihad will play some on the edge as well. So both of those guys should get legitimate playing time. As far as Cooper on the outside, again, and I've advocated this, he plays outside the base and it'll go inside the nickel. That will not change this week. Should it change moving forward? I think so, because I think he's capable of handling both roles, and I take advantage of that. But remember, this is a team without Malik Neighbors. The best wide receiver they have is Rondell Robinson. They've elevated little Jordan Humphrey again. Darius Slayton. These are the guys you're talking about. This is not where you have to manipulate and move people around like Cooper, maybe against the Dallas Cowboys, if their offense and CD Lamb goes inside, and maybe you want to play in both positions. Although Vic has shown no evidence that he wants to go that route. That's just me personally. I would do that. But no, certainly not this game. It's not when they're going to pull that lever.
John, I'm going to give you a set of numbers here. 44, 58, 30, 43, 46, 88, and 60. If one can believe it, those are the yardage totals by game that Saquon Barkley has had this year, John. Pretty crazy to hear after knowing what he was able to accomplish last year. Is today a game, John, where he can finally get going a little bit? I do think, I know you always talk about, circumstantial football where tell me the score and I'll tell you the run-pass ratio. That's not really what I'm asking here. I think this team needs to get more from the running back position right now, specifically Saquon Barkley. Is this a game he can get going, John? How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, that's their whole they want to get it going. I mean, that's the problem. That's been the problem with this offense. He ran for 2005 yards. I forget the exact number last year. He's on pace to be under 900. From 2005 to under 900. He averaged 5.8 yards per carry. He's at 3.3 yards per carry. He had 17 runs of over 20 yards last year. He's at 0 over 7 games. He averaged 3.8 yards before contact last year. Now he's to the New York Giant levels of 1.8. It's been a disaster, the running game, for whatever reason, whether it's the banged up offensive line, whether it's teams playing those loaded fronts more, playing it differently, whether it's Saquon himself showing the effects of 482 touches. Look, it's not going to be what it was last year when it was historic, but it's got to get to a 2022 Miles Sanders level or a 2023 DeAndre Swift level, where those guys were Pro Bowl running backs that year. They could run the football with those guys. They got to get at least back to that level. And until they do, they're going to continue to struggle offensively at times. But that has been really since, again, going into Minnesota, that was the idea. We need to get this running game going. And it remains so because they didn't get it going again. And they need to get it going. Can they is a different conversation, a different question. It's got to be better than 3.3 yards per carry. I mean, you could throw Tank Bigsby out there and get more than 3.3 yards per carry.
How about this, John? Do you think that Jalen has to be more involved in the run game? Last game, he wasn't really involved in the run game. I mean, and you mentioned those years that when you had Miles Sanders and DeAndre Swift, I mean, he was pretty prominent in being able to pick up 40, 50 yards, and that was always essential on moving the sticks. Maybe that's also what fuels it because, remember, you go back to what Wink Martindale said, what truly makes that Eagle offense frightening is when you start to get Jalen Hurts out in the perimeter. Do you see more run game maybe from Jalen Hurts?
Well, the off-schedule stuff, I kind of think like the off-schedule stuff was tremendous last week, but it was in the passing game. So it's sort of like I don't really care how you get it, more as and the fact that him looking downfield, him thinking pass first before run first when he's extending plays. In a lot of ways, I think that's a bigger positive than if he just tucked the football. And who knows? I mean, maybe he tucks the football on 4th and 4 on that first drive and he gets the first down, but you don't get the touchdown. Maybe on the last play, not the A.J. Brown catch that essentially sealed the play. Maybe he tries to scramble and he gets 5 yards and they go for it on 4th and 2 and they win the game anyway. But did they get the big play? Who knows? You don't know. But either way, it's both as successful. To me, I look at the off-schedule game as sort of a zero-sum thing. Is it a plus or a minus? Sort of like a plus-minus grade in college. All right, this play went off schedule. Was it positive? Was it negative? There was a lot of positive in Minnesota, but it was positive in the passing game. Normally, it's more positive in the running game. I kind of, if I'm Nick Sirianni, if I'm Kevin Patullo, I'm looking at it and say, all right, we did it with the passing game. Maybe he does it with the running game. Maybe it's a 40-yard run this week. But if it's positive, it's positive.
Johnny Mack, what do you think defensively today? Jaxson Dart, Cam Scatterboo kind of tormented this team 2 weeks ago, and Vic Fangio is one that's typically been good against young quarterbacks. I think he gets an advantage today, getting this young quarterback twice in 3 weeks. What do you think the game plan is, John, to mitigate those two players who have really done good for this New York Giants team?
Well, I think they're going to do a better job with Scatterboo. I think they were a little surprised by just how physical he was. Remember, it was a short week. They didn't have a lot of time to prepare, even though they say they, sort of squish it all into 1 week. You can't do that. And I think they were taken surprised by him. I think it's going to be a much better performance against Scatterboo. Dart to me is the wild card in a similar way that Jalen Hurts is always a wild card because he can do so much off schedule. So to me, that takes discipline, that takes a focused team oriented pass rush. Keep him in the pen, so to speak. Don't let him extend plays. Don't let him get first downs with his legs. And that's what they did. That's what they allowed in MetLife Stadium. And I think if he's playing in structure, that's when Vic's sort of schemes and calls can fool him a little bit. And who knows, maybe see Alex Hunt dropping again and he doesn't see him in coverage, things like that. So I think Dart is the tougher of the two to deal with because, again, you can look at it what the Eagles do to other teams. When you have that quarterback who's a dual threat and you can do everything right defensively and he can still make a play, that's always demoralizing for any defense.
John, that's what you've been, and I'll give you a lot of credit here because since the offseason began in March, I mean, that's my concern going into the game. I mean, I think they're very limited at edge rusher. I'm not saying that Jahad Campbell's not going to get there one day, but he ain't there right now. And when you've got a dual threat guy, keeping that guy in the box and keeping that guy contained, which they couldn't 2 weeks ago, I think that's your ball game there because their wide receivers are probably the most limited wide receivers that we'll see all year because there's really nobody out there. But how he's extending plays is he breaks down the edges, John. And when you have a quarterback that can break the edges down, Bo Nix did a little bit of that when they played them the last couple weeks ago as well. So anytime that you have a dual threat, I think, John, this is moving forward too. Keep an eye on these guys that can use their legs and move to be able to create yardage with their legs. Those edge rushers sometimes get exposed because they can't contain the box, and they allow these guys to get out in the perimeter.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You see it every week, almost every game where there is a dual threat quarterback from any team. So, I mean, you can sort of freelance a little bit, dip your shoulder inside as a pass rusher, and all of a sudden that guy's out, you've lost contain, and he can make a play throwing the football, or he can make a play running the football. So it is the most difficult thing to do. It's easy to say, it's easy to preach. Keep your rush lanes. It's harder to do in practice. Remember, these offensive linemen are working too as well. So they're trying to push you out so you lose leverage, or maybe it's inside. They're trying to move you in a different direction as well. So it's a lot easier to say it and verbalize it. It's tougher to be disciplined on the pass rush. And sometimes it's not that fun either to be disciplined on the pass rush, as you know, Dan. So some of those edge rushers want to pin their ears back and just go. And with quarterbacks that can use their legs, that could be dangerous.
Johnny Mac, on Football Friday, you gave me 33-17 Eagles.
Yeah, that's
Now,
changed.
That was before A.J. Brown was rolled out of the football game. What do you got, Johnny Mac?
I think it's gonna be less explosive. I think the Eagles are still going to win the game, but I'm down to more of a 24-16 vibe as a game. We'll keep it one score. But yeah, AJ, I mean, he's only missed 5 games. And the numbers, I don't have them in front of me, but the numbers are crazy.
15.8 points a game, 326 yards a game without him. With him, they're averaging 27 points a game and 369 yards per game.
It's pretty drastic difference and I know Eagles fans know that from seeing it, but it's been a pretty drastic difference when he's not on the field. And look, I mean, I think Jahan Dotson is a better wide receiver 3 than people think he is. It's just not high volume offense. I think you're better equipped at John Mechie moving up a slot, but these are not A.J. Brown. And I've even heard people excited about Darius Cooper's back, like he's a mini A.J. Brown. No, he's not. And also he's been out a month as well, so it's not like, it's going to be DeVonta, and obviously, maybe DeVonta gets to show up what he can do as a wide receiver 1, as a big time player. Jahan moves up to wide receiver 2, and John Mechie should get most of the work in 11 personnel. And who knows, in some of the 11 personnel reps where they want to run the football, you might see some Cooper because he is a physical guy. But remember, with him, he hasn't played in a month, so I wouldn't expect a ton of reps.
Zander, let me ask him this one here. Hey, Drew Kendall was activated. Do you think we'll see any reps with him at center?
Only if there's really poor play from Brett Toth.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's, Jeff Stoutland always wants at least 3 guys who can play center on a game day. So he needed him up. He's up. But he probably won't play unless something goes wrong with Brett Toth or Landon Dickerson. And remember, with Landon, he's self-proclaimed 70-75%. So we're always in that mode of, is Landon Dickerson we know he's going to start the game. Is he going to finish the game?
Yep, no doubt. Johnny Mac, good stuff, brother. We will talk to you on the halftime and the post-game show. Let's see what the Birds are able to do today. We appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there's Johnny Mac. John McMullen joining us right here on the JAKIB Pregame Show. Some interesting commentary from Johnny Mac. By the way, what's he doing? Common. It's not common for an owner to comment on a player like that. Thank you for clarifying my question.
Wait. Yeah. No. Listen, it's common to talk to the owner.
Yeah. But Jeffrey Lurie does not comment
to talk about a player that potentially could be traded. By the way, as we're talking, a little bit more of a conversation here. So I guess there was like a tweet out, of AJ Brown, celebrating and giving kudos and love to Jalen Hurts. And all of a sudden now that's been deleted. I'm just, listen to me here, man. I'm not really that much of a conspiracy theorist here, but what I am is I watch what the player's behavior is. And this dude's like bipolar, dude. He's all over the joint, man.
All right, wait,
And
we're going to get to that. Somebody's got to tell me
come
what the
on.
heck has happened here. I didn't see this. A.J. Brown has deleted now tweets from the past of him giving credit to Jalen Hurts. Is that
praise.
right?
Yes, to praise. He's been deleting them as we're talking here.
I've been team AJ. Like, what do you mean? Well, what is the point of doing that?
There is no point. I mean,
now it's you basically have enough evidence.
now it's annoying.
You can't. This is now. If this is true, I didn't see this. Let me read the super chats. Did someone put this in a super chat? Bird season did. He said, thoughts on AJ deleting tweets speaking highly of Jalen Hurts from years back. Kind of weird, don't you? Yeah, I'll say, brother. Who would go out of their way to do that? That is odd. That is odd.
This is a must-watch.
I mean, even if you're unhappy right now, you won a fucking Super Bowl with this guy. I mean, this guy threw the ball to you to the
32 million. How are you not happy?
Dude, and 1,500 yards 2 straight seasons. I mean, all right, you might be unhappy right now, but that is petty. Is that real? Did A.J. Brown really go and delete old posts that he gave credit to Jalen Hurts in?
Well, this is what's being sent to me here, too.
I need somebody I trust in these comments to tell me what's going on here. Okay. Joe-ho, you're not somebody I trust. Sorry, Joe-ho.
So do you believe in Eagles Nation?
Eagles Nation is what, like the big Twitter account? That thing?
Yeah.
I mean, normally.
Okay, well, A.J. Brown seems to have deleted an old tweet where he praised Jalen Hurts. He also looks to have deleted almost all tweets where he mentioned him in the past.
Boy, I tell you what, A.J. Brown is jealous of Jalen Hurts. That's jealousy. That's jealousy and envy.
Jealousy? I think he doesn't respect his game. All
right, Sills, I get it. Jalen Hurts is not a perfect passing quarterback. I understand right now his numbers are down. A.J. Brown has a lot of yards in Philadelphia since he came here. A.J. Brown became an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler since he came here. He has a ring on his finger. He's been an NFC champion twice. Unhappy right now.
How have those numbers been since Barkley got here?
Yeah, not good. But I mean, even last year, hear me out. He missed 4 games last year.
Okay.
And he had 1,100 yards. 4 games he missed.
Do you know what? I said this a year ago, and I'm going to go here again. You think he enjoyed being in that Derrick Henry offense and in that Saquon Barkley offense where the running back was the feature guy on those football teams, albeit it was Ryan Tannehill and not Jalen Hurts? That's a completely different conversation.
Oh, man. I'm not buying this. Look, I've been Team AJ because this offense has to be better, and I've been the one saying it, and everybody gets mad at me in the chat for saying it. This is stupid now. You're deleting tweets from the past?
People are watching you, and people are coming after. People are watching you, and people are watching your accounts right now. And he knows it. So this is all calculated. Don't tell me it's not, Zander, calculated. You know that this guy is a marketing genius. He knows what he's doing right now.
He's an attention whore, is what it appears to me.
Yeah, that's correct.
I mean,
like every other wide receiver.
Last week, Jalen Hurts throws a perfect game, and everybody's giving him credit. Brandon Graham returns to the team, and A.J. Brown has to go and make a social media post, and now it's been all about him all week. Now it's game day. We're less than an hour from Eagles kickoff, and I'm learning that A.J. Brown is deleting tweets praising Jalen Hurts. I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. And I've been Team A.J.
It's annoying now. It's annoying.
It's very annoying, to say the least. It's annoying. Maybe he's pissed off about Jeffrey Lurie's comments. Who knows? All right, Sills. I asked Johnny Mack. He was 33-17 on Friday.
I was 34-7.
I got all the numbers. John modified to 24-16. Okay? You were originally 28-17 on Friday, pre-AJ news. Post-AJ news, you went to 21-17, but that was heat of the moment. Where are you on Sunday, 53 minutes from game time?
2017.
So another point off, and he's down to 20-17. So I went from 31-20 on Friday, pre-AJ news, to 27-20. I am going to change my score once again to 30-14. The Eagles are going to dominate this football game, 30-14 for your boy Big Z. I think the Eagles beat the shit out of them. I think Jalen Hurts is pissed at his receiver. He's going to come out and dominate without him, make a statement without him on the field. Okay. I got another big Jalen Hurts game coming today.
Okay. With guys out, two dudes out in that offense.
30-14.
From a year ago now, no Becton, no Juergens, and no AJ, and you're up in the score. All right. Hey, it is the Gigantes. Hey, man, I think they're horseshit too, that roster.
I think Jaxson Dart
should be 50 to – this thing should be an M. Reyes, 52-3. I mean, yeah. What if the Giants sweep the Eagles?
I can't believe I just learned this about A.J. Brown, and that is the pettiest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Hoss, he's been petty the whole
yeah, but no, tweeting something that's cryptic is common for a wide receiver, especially when you're not getting the production you want at a given moment. To go back from years prior when you gave your quarterback credit, by the way, when you had 1,500 yards and you were an all-pro, 1,500 yards twice in a row, you went to 2 NFC championships.
That's what he's done.
And he's deleting tweets from years prior? That is the pettiest. He's jealous of Jalen Hurts. He is so jealous of Jalen Hurts, he didn't know what to do with himself.
No,
that's what that is to me.
Okay, to me, it's that he has no respect for that guy's game as a passer.
Come on, man. Sills, look, you know me. I'll be critical of Jalen if it warrants it. This dude has been productive with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback.
Well, then why would he be doing this?
I agree. Right now, and last year with Saquon, and right now this year, they're not using him as much as they could be. I obviously agree with that. But to go back from years prior, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Why not? I would rather you just say, I hate this offense and I want to trade. I would respect you more as a player than deleting tweets in the past as a quarterback. That's so petty.
Where's your greatest coach in the history of Philadelphia Eagle history here to talk to me about your culture and your being able to deal with players?
Put back there. Look what Andy Reid did with his diva receiver. Look at what Bill Belichick did with his diva receivers.
Yeah, they moved them.
Yeah. So
and they still won.
I wouldn't put this on Nick.
Wait, and whoa. Well, with this culture he talks about, how players buy in and all that, don't sound like to me A.J. Brown's buying in. A.J.'s on Team A.J. He ain't on Team Eagles. If those guys didn't toe the line, they moved them. Hey, if Tyreek Hill was an asshole, he moved them. If Antonio Brown was an asshole, he moved them. And they still won.
Yeah, but dude, like I said, I'm good with AJ being like, we need to get better. I'm cool with. I think those comments are good for a team that gets glazed so much in the media from the fan base that's high on cloud nine coming off a Super Bowl. I think it's healthy to have a player saying we have to live up to our potential.
Why can't your coach,
entirely different than that,
dude? Why can't your fucking coach tell the guy to shut the fuck up and sit in the corner and do what everyone else is doing on our football team? Why can't somebody do that? I
don't think coaches do that.
I think Mike Tomlin does that. I think Mike Tomlin will put your ass on a blast.
Mike Tomlin's the king of being 500. Did Jimmy Johnson tell Michael Irvin to sit down and shut the fuck up? Maybe he did. I don't know.
Michael Irvin would never disrespect Jimmy.
That's a great point.
Because he respects him as a man. He respected him as a coach. Okay? I think this has got a lot to do with him not respecting Nick, too. You don't do that to your coach. It makes everybody look bad in the locker room, Zander. Everyone look bad. I'm not saying that Nick's at fault here. I'm saying you make the other 52 look bad when you're acting like a 2-year-old.
Well, Nick is. I mean, look at all the signs from Nick. I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but I'm saying that's not Nick's MO. Is wear T-shirts of his players at press conference. Like he's that kind of guy.
You
He's
think
not,
Aaron Rodgers respects Mike Tomlin right now compared to what happened in New York with the Jets?
Yeah, I don't think Robert Saleh was his biggest problem, but I do think he respects Mike Tomlin for sure.
They're 4-1-1 right now, or they're 4-2 right now. I mean, they're winning ball games.
By the way, that's going to be a big game tonight.
That's
I don't
right.
know. I'm just bothered by this AJ. I didn't know this until middle of the show today. I didn't know he did old tweets.
This doesn't shock me, man. I knew this was going to.
No, it doesn't shock me because it's what he's been doing. But I think it's a different level of you're being a petty asshole. Totally. Be a fucking. Are you a captain or are you not? You know what I mean? Like, I'm good with you wanting the offense to be better. Deleting old tweets. So and by the way, like you said, he knows everybody is watching. He knows we were going to be talking about this in the pregame show. He knows Twitter was going to be talking about this. He is an attention whore, and I think he's jealous of the quarterback.
Okay. Hey, man, you know what you have in this player? I think it's got a lot to do, and I'm not going to talk like a doctor. I think it's got a lot to do with his mental state at times, I'll say it, and I'll be that kind with it. I think you got to constantly babysit this guy. And I think that's why the quarterback, in my opinion, handles it way better than anything McNabb did when it came to Terrell Owens.
Well, I agree with that.
He's handled it exceptionally. You know how he handles it? By not addressing it.
Yeah. Keep focused on the collective, man. I think that's the right mentality at this stage.
I think how Jalen Hurts is handling this is perfect.
Yeah, I'm a little bothered by the AJ, and I've been Team AJ, so I don't want to hear anybody saying, I think this is a little much here from AJ Brown. I'd like to see Jalen go out there today and have a big football game. Correct the narrative after the Giants beat the shit out of this team 2 weeks ago. I'd love to see Jalen Hurts have another big game today, and I'd like to see Saquon Barkley get going. I understand the personnel stuff you brought up of why it's a tougher game for Saquon to get going, but I feel like Saquon gets going today, and I think Jalen has another good, efficient football game today.
I think Jalen Hurts has to go north of 280 to win this ball game.
You think so? Because you don't think Saquon's going to get going. And you think that's mostly because of the O-line, right, today?
Not him. O-line, yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
now, I would, I said that the New York Giants should run these stretch plays. Dude, why don't they run more stretch plays with Malott and Lane? Two best guys in the league. You're not doing that, man? I mean, try to run more stretch plays with him. They're still trying to get those lanes when they're being flooded. Here's something else, too, Xander. Remember this for today's game. The Eagles have to win first and second down. They haven't been doing that on a consistent note throughout any of these football games outside of what they did in Minnesota. They've got to win first and second down. They do that and they're in third and short. Your boy's going to have a great game today, Jalen Hurts.
Pumper's not wrong. I've been saying it for 6 weeks, Pump. You're right. I'm waiting for Barkley to get going, man. I think he's going to get going. Let's get to some super chats here. Big Sills' score prediction down to 20-17. I'm going 30-14 today. I don't think Jaxson Dart and that offense can get going. No Malik Neighbors. I think they've been living on a little bit of a high. I think Vic Fangio getting him again this quickly is a big advantage for this defense. I know you're without your corners, but they're without their receivers, man.
Yeah, but you said this 2 weeks ago. I could replay the show, and I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong, dude. That's how I got it.
Wait a second.
You said they didn't have
allowed to use that shit on me because I don't use that shit on you. I could put your
no.
How many times let the chat rip me on shit like that?
Wait. I'm not ripping you. I'm talking more about, dude, you're right. That Giant team, listen, that Giant team, if you visually look at them, Xander, it's a 40-17 game.
You just went AJ Brown on me. You went against the bro code.
Bro code. I'm not ripping you, you jackass.
You went against the bro code, Sills.
I'm not.
You went against the freaking bro code.
Of all people I've ever done anything with, you're the least guy.
All right, let's rattle some supers here. JD3 says, I see AJ Brown have great relationships with teammates. Coop, Isaiah, Smitty. Name one teammate Jalen Hurts has been close to for a consistent amount of time.
DeVonta Smith.
Well, I will say this. I mean, I think JD3, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that's a bad thing, dude. I really don't. I think when you strive for greatness, and whatever someone thinks of Jalen Hurts' skill set, I don't really give a shit. He strives to win every game he plays, and he's proven that. And having that mentality, you can't expect everybody to relate to that or connect to that. There's a reason the 1% of the 1% exist, because it's not universal. It's not every 53 man.
I talked to Dan Marino about this, and Dan Marino told me when he had Clayton and Duper, you can't get too close to either guy, because you know why? You got to play with both guys. And one guy's going to want the ball more than the other guy. You've got to have some balance. A quarterback's in a funny position, Zander, because, he's got to be kind of the jerk, like Keith Byers said this week. You've got to kind of be that guy.
Yeah, he's a jerk. So, I'm okay with that. I don't.
Yeah.
I agree with you, JD3. By the way, DeVonta was on a podcast this week. We keep referencing it, but it was such a great pod. And they asked him about Jalen Hurts, and Jalen just said, Jalen likes who he likes, man. Like when you're in Jalen's circle, he'll open up with you. If not, you're going to get what you see in the media. So I get it. He might be a little aloof, but JD, at the end of the day, you could say the same about Saban. You could say the same about the people who strive to be great. Tom Brady, at sometimes is a hard guy to play with, I'm sure. That's just the nature of the beast, in my opinion. I don't think he needs to be out there.
Ask Amendola and Edelman how
it was tough playing with Brady, dude.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's dudes in the NFL who just want their paycheck and are like, I don't want to play with Jalen Hurts, man. He always wants to win. I just want to come in, get my paycheck, and go home. Good. Get him out of here. Kyle says, is AJ in Atlantic City?
Yeah, he better not be.
He's not playing today, man. He might play.
I'll tell you what, man, that FBI thing. How about that Lamar Jackson thing where he was a healthy guy? He was healthy this week. All of a sudden, he goes from healthy and he was going to play. I don't know. I'm not going to.
No, I know. It's a weird timing for that.
It's a weird how that thing de-escalated quickly.
Yeah. Pumper says, why the Eagles don't run stretch plays? Well, the QB takes an eternity to hand it off. Dude be acting like he's doing a L'Oreal cover girl photo.
I think it's play calling. Time
to trade Hurts or only hope. Pop, not happening. Bird Season says 100% it's real. I replied to one of the many that were deleted, some as far back as college and even some from 22. It's time. That is crazy. College tweets he deleted of Jalen Hurts.
He's going back in his Twitter now on things he said about.
He must have searched in Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and looked at all his tweets.
So he's got nothing better to do to go back into his social media, right? I mean, God, it seems so childish.
Oh, that is dumb. I'm sorry. That is dumb.
That's a captain. That's an Eagle captain.
That is dumb. That is unbecoming of a leader.
Is DeVonta Smith the captain?
No. Josh Herman said he was 1 year, but he's not this year, and he wasn't last year. Josh Herman says, "Hey Sills, when trying to keep the QB contained, how does the edge rush the passer without letting the quarterback jump out of the box?" Good question, especially versus Jaxson Dart.
It's a slow rush. The number one objective, and I think this is what Denver did in that game a couple weeks ago. They had slow rushes. They would give up getting to the quarterback as long as they kept the quarterback in the box. Jalen Hurts is absolutely a weapon when he gets outside and he flushes the pocket and he extends those chains. How many times have you seen him break defenses back like they did in that Buck game? You've got to keep him in that box. It's from tackle to tackle. And so these edge rushers will slow rush it. They may not get there, hoping at the internal pressure and hoping that Hurts moves around. Remember something on a dual threat quarterback too. Dual threat quarterbacks. You said this and asked me this question also, Zander, this week. Is it tougher to have a guy who moves around a lot versus a guy like a Burrow who's going to be a stationary and get to a point? Blocking for a guy like Jalen Hurts is impossible because you don't know where he is. Remember, you know where Joe Burrow is behind you, but you don't know where Hurts is. He can go front door, back door, side door in his escapes on getting out of the pocket. You know certain guys like Kurt Warner and those guys, they want to get to a point back there, and those edge rushers are going to slow rush it to keep him in the box. That's how you keep him contained.
No doubt. Great explanation there. Josh, great question today going up against Jaxson Dart. Appreciate that, brother. There's Brian Pumper. Hey, fellas, y'all keep saying AJ not talking about Hurts when he criticized the offense, but why he delete all his tweets when he – look, Pump, I think it's clear now that he is talking about Jalen Hurts, whether it's – I mean, I think it's bullshit that he went and did it. It's stupid, in my opinion, not what a leader should be doing. But I think you are right that it does hone in on who A.J. Brown is complaining about if he's deleting all his tweets.
Oh, he's funneled it down to Hurts.
Yeah, he has. I mean, and he's spoken about Patullo. Hey, he's doing a great job. So I guess you're right. Big Dom says, Vic drops our edges into coverage often. Campbell, should that help with disguise and different blitz situations? Base defense may be the way to go. Interesting, Big Dom. You might be right today because of the personnel problems.
Do you really want to bring pressure with a guy who can get out in the perimeter? And if he beats that pressure, he's not going to beat the Eagle. Remember, Jaxson Dart's not going to beat you with his arm. He's going to beat you with his wheels today like he did 2 weeks ago. If you bring pressure and you don't get home to him, he killed you the last time they played by extending them plays. So, I mean, you could die quick with the pressures like this, or you could sit back in a zone and die slowly. That's what you've got to look at when you have a lack of personnel, especially at the corner position. By the way, keep an eye on that safety position too, because I think they're going to try to get the middle of the zone a little bit more going today. I'm talking to New York Giants. Look, I don't think the Giants win this game. I don't. It'd be great if the Eagles could score first, put the Giants back on their heels. What I fear here is, Zander, don't let the Giants get out there and get points on the board.
Yeah. I think Jalen Carter's the difference there on defense, Sills. I mean, I was listening to College Game Day yesterday, and it's one of my favorite shows. Great college football game day. Miami gets a win. Alabama, great win. Sorry to my Missouri fan, Vulnerable Vitality in the chat. You went down to Pavia and Vanderbilt. Great college football yesterday. But I'm listening to Nick Saban, and I love Nick Saban. I'll always reference him. He's obviously my favorite coach, being a Bama guy. But, he talked about keys to the game for certain running quarterbacks, and he said it's not edge pressure. Edge pressure matters. It's internal pressure. When you close that pocket down, that makes that quarterback who can step up and inside the tackle, it makes it way harder to do. And I think that's going to be key today to contain Jaxson Dart as Jalen Carter.
That's why I say slow rush to corners.
Yeah, that was a perfect.
You've got to get the internal pressure for him not to be able to step up. That's what we're talking about, contain and pressuring dual threat guys. You got to keep the guy contained, and you've got to have the internal pressure.
Yep. Sells one more. Here we go. Chris Turk. Yes, AJ out is a big loss, but Dotson is better than any receiver the Giants have today. Goddard will eat today. Jalen's running will be the difference. Chris, you're betting on something that hasn't happened the last couple of weeks with Jalen's running, but I do think it's going to be a fact. It has to be a factor today.
I think he has to get out in a run game too today. I think that. I mean, look, I think he's got to go north of 280 today for them to win this ball game. And I think he's got to be somewhere in the 50 rushing zone, somewhere in there. And I think that may open up Barkley a little bit. The more you fear Jalen Hurts in this game, I think the easier for Saquon to get that going there. But again, dude, Brett Toth against Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm not biting on that.
That's a nightmare. I mean, if you tell me that on paper, I'm
not biting that.
That's a nightmare matchup on paper. Dexter Lawrence versus we got a couple more supers. People are flooding them in here. Vitality says, Z, what do you think changed for AJ? Where did it go wrong for him from his perspective?
Barkley.
There was once a time when he spoke openly highly of Hurts.
Barkley.
Yeah, Phil is right.
When the game went through Jalen and AJ in 22 and 23, he's all cool. When the game went through Barkley and the narrative changed on how they were going to win games, the passing game and the offense changed.
I think you're right.
It went through Barkley, and that's what's really aggravated him.
I think you're right. I think that's the direct time it seems that AJ really switched up on Hurts. JD3 says, tired of the MJ narrative. MJ was declared the GOAT by year 8. You're missing the point. It's not about the talent of the player. It's about the mentality and the approach of Jalen Hurts. It's not. I'm not comparing him to.
It's work ethic.
He said, imagine if Rondo acted like Kobe or MJ. That narrative needs context. Yeah, but I hear you. But Jalen is the leader of the team. All right. Rondo was never the leader of the Celtics because they had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett and all. That's not the perfect comp. Jalen is the leader of the Eagles. Yes. Yes. He's the quarterback of the football team.
But I don't think AJ respects him in that context.
I think
those other
evidence
guys
is mounting that you are correct in that.
Okay. Because on them Jordan teams, Pippen and all them guys, they respected Michael Jordan. They may not have liked him, but they respected him.
Yeah.
I don't think A.J. Brown respects Jalen Hurts' ability. By the way, I'm not sitting there saying that he doesn't like the guy. I'm sitting there saying that he doesn't like the guy's way of approach and how he plays football.
It's weird.
It's affecting his numbers.
It's weird though. Matt says, feels like someone close to AJ is chirping in his ear. I've seen guys switch up once their girl's involved. This level of petty ain't solo. I happen to agree with that. I don't think a man would be this petty, like without some sort of influence from somewhere.
This is
wild. But also, man, I think you might, where I think you might be wrong is I wouldn't just assume it's his woman involved. You got to think agent. You got to think of that stuff too.
Maybe there is a woman and it's Nicole Lynn.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah. Well, no, not. I'm talking about AJ's age.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, bro, you got to get the ball. You're not going to get a big contract. You're getting 800 yards. So,
yeah, but Nicole Lynn could be telling him also, hey, listen, you can't be tied into one guy. You got to be a quarterback in there. And you know what? You see the game. Remember, I said this week, Zander. He sees the game through a quarterback's eyes on what's best for the team. AJ sees the game, what's best for AJ, and how he thinks the team should win. And you've got a power. I think it's more about a power struggle right now.
I don't know. Pumper says, last one. I'll tell you what didn't help. Bringing Hurts' BFF, Brandon Graham, back. I understand AJ. I wouldn't want someone in the locker room who talks behind my back.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I disagree. I think, listen, Brandon Graham probably going to help you a little bit, but I think Brandon Graham in the locker room, how can that ever be a bad thing? No way.
No doubt. All right.
If
I
was a rookie or if I was a young player, Brandon Graham came in there and he's a 15-year NFL guy, I'm going to be like Velcro on that dude.
Sills, your final thoughts here in the pregame show, brother.
Again, I think this is going to have a lot to do with Kevin Patullo, how he calls his football game.
I love your take on that. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you don't have your center. You don't have A.J. Brown in this game.
First-year guy, man. He's never had this type of.
That's right. He's lost personnel, so he's going to have to adjust. And I want to see how he and Jalen Hurts get on the same page in this football game. I also want to see what Vic is going to do to try to disguise a little bit Keely Ringo back there and how he plays those edges. Are the New York Giants going to do stretch runs with Scatterboo? Are they going to still try to go up the middle? One thing I wouldn't do against this Eagle team, why would I run to the strength of the Eagles with Jordan Davis and with Jalen Carter in the middle? I think they got to attack those edges out there on the Eagles. So, dude, I think this is going to be a very close football game. I think this is going to be a football game where this is going to be a fourth quarter game. And really, we're going to find out about Jalen Hurts a little bit here. And we're going to find out a little bit more about DeVonta Smith also. Can they win without AJ?
I agree. Big Sills, good stuff, brother. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you in the post-game show. We'll see how this game goes today. All right, man?
You got it, brother. I'll catch you then.
Thank you, Sills. There's Big Sills, Dan Sileo, host of the National Football Show every Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m., one of the best Eagles shows on YouTube. If you like truth and if you like real sports talk, not glaze, we're not going to glaze you, but we're going to give you real sports talk. We're going to go back and forth with you. We're going to agree. We're going to disagree. That's what we do here on JAKIB Sports. We appreciate it. Guys, I got to stick on a little bit here on the pregame show and talk about some of this AJ stuff. I think most people who listen to me consistently, and maybe if you're listening right now and you don't, that's okay. I try and call a fair game. If I think Jalen Hurts warrants criticism, I give him criticism, much to the chagrin of some people. If I give him praise when he deserves it, I give it to him. If AJ Brown deserves criticism or credit, I try and call a fair game. I'm not always right. I'm not saying I'm always right, but I try and call it down the middle. I've been good with AJ Brown because the 30th ranked offense in football is not, in my opinion, good enough for a team that has this much talent. I think that's fair to say. And I think AJ calling for that is a fair thing for him to do. When you tell me that he's deleting old tweets and old bullshit and old praise of Jalen Hurts that he had from college, I mean, is this confirmed? Like, again, I didn't see this before the show today, so you guys are just letting me know this now. If that is true, that is some of the pettiest bullshit behavior I've ever heard. That is, Brandon, I think you're missing the point, my friend. It's not about that's my point, Brandon. It's no longer just about the offense isn't doing what it should be doing. It's not. You won a Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts. You know, I mean, you did get 3,000 yards in 2 seasons with Jalen Hurts. You're an all-pro and a Pro Bowler with Jalen Hurts. Again, I'm okay with him being like, it's not working right now. We got to change things. We got to be better in the past. I'm cool with that. But to go and do that petty bullshit when you know everybody's watching your social medias, when everybody's looking at you, and when your quarterback's coming off a perfect rated passing game, when your team is 5-2. By the way, with the trade deadline around the corner, I'm sorry, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. That is absolutely bullshit. And to be honest with you, if it were my organization and my football team, or I owned the team, or it was my company that this existed in, I would fire him. I would get him out of my room. That is unbecoming of a player that you want to build a unit around and with. This is a team game, everybody. We can compare Jalen Hurts to MJ all you want, JD3. This is not basketball. Basketball is a stars-driven game. Basketball is fueled and driven by the greatest players on the court. It always has been and it always will be. In no sport can a superstar take over like they can in basketball. This is football, man. This is a team game. This is a team sport. If you're not for the team, I mean, why are you here? And again, I've always been Team AJ, so don't try and tell me I'm switching up. I try and call a fastball when I see one. I think this is ridiculous. I'm going to go and look at this before the game. Can you believe it? This is part of my point. We're 27 minutes away from a fucking game. 27 minutes away from a game. And I'm about to go on social media after I end the show today and research AJ Brown deleting tweets that he credited his quarterback from years ago. That is some bullshit. That is stupid, man. I'm sorry. That is stupid. That is flat out stone cold stupid. And I wouldn't want him on my team. That to me is, I don't want you on my team. Whether you like Jalen Hurts or not, I don't give a shit. He's the quarterback of this football team. He is the quarterback of this franchise. You're either a part of this team or you're a part of the AJ Browns. I mean, that's how I see this. Pretty upsetting, to be honest. Marsh, I said this. Dude, just demand a fucking trade. Marsh, I would rather see you just say, I don't like this offense. I'm not a fan of the quarterback anymore, or whatever the case might be. I'd like to be traded. I would have more respect for A.J. Brown saying that because I can understand his personal aspirations as a receiver than going and doing this petty shit. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? That is stupid, man. That to me, I'm agitated at it. And please, I will criticize Jalen when it's necessary. I will criticize whoever when I believe it's necessary. I got great respect for the athletes and the game they're playing and what they contribute. But at the end of the day, this is just out of bounds, in my opinion now. Just my opinion. You might agree, you might disagree. It is what it is. I'll make sure I got all the super chats. B Pumper says it's always a shorty. These new females in 25 are different. They all get recycled. All right, Pump. Come on, Pump. Try and keep a football, man. You're going to have me talking about some stuff I don't want to talk about here on a pregame show. Dez says, I agree, Xander. AJ's acting like a female. It's stupid, Dez. It's stupid. If I own the team, I'm trading him. Get him the fuck out of here. Get him out of here. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback of the team. If you can't handle that, then why are you a part of our team? Just go play for somebody else. Just go play for somebody else. I mean, you're willingly think about it. This is the other thing that bothers me. When you zoom out, let's just try and zoom out for a second. Again, 24 minutes now from game time. I can't believe we're talking about this. When you zoom out for a second, this is a week. A.J. Brown had 2 touchdowns last week. He had 120 yards in the game. We won the football game. His quarterback throws for a perfect passer rating, which if you're a team player, you should be happy about that. Everybody's giving Jalen Hurts his litany of credit in the media. Brandon Graham, a storied Philadelphia Eagle, returns to the team, and instead of letting those be the stories of the week, A.J. Brown says, "No, look at me, everybody. I want to be the headline. I want to forget Jalen Hurts' perfect game. Forget Brandon Graham coming back. Look at me. Look, everybody, I'm over here. Please don't forget about A.J. Brown." By the way, Smitty also had a career week last week. Come on, man. Come on, man. You come on. We got to look this in the face. That is petty child stuff. That is not grown man behavior. You can be unhappy. I'm fine with you being unhappy. I'm not saying you gotta be happy in this all. You gotta sit down and shut up. I don't say that about AJ Brown. This is stupid. And Fleming, I'm starting to think you're right. Remember, the trade deadline is next to not the Tuesday coming up, the following Tuesday. The following Tuesday. I think he's trying to get out of here. So Fleming, just say it, bro. Go call the GM and say I want to get traded. Call Adam Schefter if you think the Eagles won't put it out there. I don't give a shit. It's stupid though. By the way, on a lighter note, we got the Kelly Greens. We're 22 minutes from game time. How fire is this Eagles hat? I was out yesterday looking for my new Sixers lid with the black jersey or the old school black logo, and this is there, and I'm like, all right, I gotta get that thing. I gotta get that thing. Kelly Green. I'm gonna wear it on game day. I think this is one of the coolest Eagles hat I've seen. Just my opinion, but I love this fucking thing. Folks, that is a clean lid right there. That is a clean lid. Yeah, great. Another good game last night, sure enough. I like the way that Edgecombe plays. I like what's that kid's name? Quentin Grimes. If he can hit shots like that, this team's got to fix this team's got to fix their front court a little bit. Not huge on Joel Embiid at this point, but I think the Sixers are in a decent spot. It's clear. I've been waiting, sure enough. I've been waiting for a great 1-2 backcourt for a long time. I've been waiting for the 1-2 in the backcourt. You got Maxey, who has turned into a superstar. And you got now VJ Edgecombe, who I love the way he plays. He doesn't play like a new school player. That's what I like about him. He plays old school. He plays fast, physical, aggressive, in your face a little bit. Not afraid. He's a confident player. I like Edgecombe. So good stuff from the Sixers. They're 2-0. All right, let's get this game going, guys. 20 minutes out from game time. Appreciate all you guys being here. AJ, enough, dude. Or get him the fuck out of here. Get him the fuck out of here. I don't get it. It is what it is. I hope Jalen Hurts has a gem of a performance today, guys. I got 30-14 Eagles. I think Saquon gets going today, his first 100-yard game of the year. And I think we need Jalen Hurts to have a big game here. Big game here, all right? Good stuff. Appreciate everybody being here today. Hit that like button. I will see you guys on the halftime show. Go tune in on JAKIB Green Zone for the live call of the game with Joe Krause. He'll give you the full play-by-play of the football game live on the JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. Okay? And then the halftime show with Johnny Mack and the postgame show. Okay? And the postgame show. So we'll have a full slate of content all day here on JAKIB Sports covering the Eagles. Love all you guys. Appreciate all the support as always. All right? One more super chat. Vulnerable says, just wait if we lose this game. He's going to post something like quoting Jalen's. Is that what y'all want to see? If he does that, Vitality, I'm reaching my threshold here with AJ Brown. It's a team game. That's what football is. Go play another sport if you want to. Go box, AJ. I know you like boxing. Go box if you want it to be all about you. It's not all about you. All right? Appreciate it. See you guys on the halftime show, the postgame show, and on the JAKIB Green Zone. Love all you guys.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.